It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. We're trying something different on the channel. A couple of months ago, we reviewed or looked at the 10 worst UK brewed lagers, and the reception on that video was absolutely fantastic. And I want to thank all of you for kind of watching it and sharing it and whatnot. Very happy with that video. So it got me thinking, what could I do next? I thought to myself, what about buying 10 lagers that you can't buy from the UK supermarket? Going down that route. So here we are, I've done it. I found a wonderful website which was suggested to me by a fantastic brewer. Thank you very much. And it's called the Fuss Club. Now, what a service. The moment I ordered this beer, it was literally, I had a kind of delivery notice straight away that the beer was going to be picked up by, whether it be DHL or DPD or whatever, but it was almost instant. So I thought, well, what a great service by this company. Fantastic. So big shout out to the Fuss Club. And they also sent me, new here, they also sent me kind of descriptions and kind of compliments. Thank you for your order. Yeah, a really nice kind of thing to do. But anyway, we are here to show you the beer. There was one quick thing that I wanted to talk about. They put in 2 substitutes. There was 2 IPAs that were substituted, or 2 lagers which were substituted for IPAs. So I had to kind of think on my feet and add in another 2 lagers. So I found Hawkstone Lager, Jeremy Clarkson's Hawkstone Lager. And this is a Welsh lager, a cold filtered Welsh lager from Evan Evans Brewery. It's called Liberty Cold Filtered Lager. Other beers, now I wanted to get kind of like great craft brewers in the UK. I wanted to try their lagers. So we've got something from Dea, Mashgang, Don Zoco. These guys, STF, Beak, I love Beak. Cloudwater, New Bands, and a New Bands Left Hand Giant American Pilsner. So some great brewers. Let's start off then with the bottled beers. I'm just going to open beers as I normally do. The other thing I wanted to mention too very quickly was glassware. But let's go. Let's get going. Now, where are we with glassware? I don't have 10 of the same lager glasses. I don't think there's a need for that, to be honest. It would be nice to have it all in the same glass, but some of them are going to be cold filtered. You've got a New Zealand Pilsner over there, so there's going to be a little bit of a variation anyway in the beers. So, Bad Seed Brewing, Evan Evans Liberty Cold Filtered Lager. There's the first beer poured. So we've got a selection of glasses for this. We've got pint mugs, tall stylish glasses from France, German pint pots. And I completely ruled out these. I had them out, I was looking at these, but I thought, no, these are your kind of your tulip glasses for your Carlin and your Fosters and maybe your Madry. And I thought, nah, this is just not good enough. So we're going to ditch those glasses. So first beer poured out. Good levels of carbonation. Not much in the way of head retention, but looks okay. Golden amber in colour, aroma. Smells okay. It's really nice, that. Crisp, refreshing. A little bit of sweetness in there. A little bit sweet. Gluten free. So there's a little bit of something in there. Just offering up a sweetness in the beer. But for all you people who've got gluten intolerances, this is great, isn't it? This is great for you. 4.1% ABV, Evan Evans Liberty Cold Filtered Lager, Llandilo, West Wales. It's okay. Very tempted to go next with a bottle, like just to have a look at the Hawkstone Lager. And I think, shall we do that? Let's get the bottles done. I've not really thought about this too much. This is not something that, you know, I'm going to do this beer and that beer and that beer. I just want to open some beers and have a look. So Hawkstone Lager, this is coming in at 4.8% ABV. Of course, Jeremy Clarkson has made this beer quite the thing. And I'm choosing this glass. That's a completely different beer to the first Hawkstone we reviewed on the channel about 3 years ago. That beer we reviewed from Hawkstone 3 years ago, there was no head retention whatsoever. It looks to me like they've really worked on this beer and they've worked to improve it massively. If you have a look at that now, that is eye candy, isn't it? That's what you want to see when you pour a beer. Good levels of carbonation, nice, clean, crisp, golden, amber coloured look, good head retention, which is really important on the beer, especially for a lager. Aroma. But like the Evan Evans, a little bit kind of peppery and spicy and bitter. A little bit of like a candied aroma in it as well. Cheers. Crisp, dry, refreshing. Yeah, they've definitely worked on this. This is something that has been a project of Clarkson and his team for 3 years now. They started off kind of like, I don't know what they were expecting when they started it, but they're probably very happy with the kind of outcome, because they've obviously worked on this. It's obviously a beer that's been improved. As I mentioned, no head retention when I had this 3 years ago. It's more clinical, it's like they've had time to make it better. Yeah, that's okay, that. A nice biting finish on the beer, a nice bitterness, a nice balance to the beer. I'd say probably a little bit better than the Liberty. The Liberty Lager from Evan Evans, obviously it's gluten-free, so it's kind of like appealing to a certain market. A little bit too sweet for me, but the Hawkstone, drier, more bitter, a nice bitterness on the back end. Nicely balanced between that kind of malt and that hop. Yeah, that was pretty decent. So out of the two beers so far, I mean, ratings. It's difficult, isn't it, to rate at this stage. I think I'm just going to carry on for now, cracking beers. Do you know, I'm thinking American Pilsner now. New Barnes, Left Hand Giant, American Pilsner, 5% ABV. So in my mind, this is going to be the Brewers of Leith, Edinburgh. Here we go. I've heard of this company. They're kind of definitely pushing into that kind of lager. They're definitely lager brewers up there. So what am I looking at with an American Pilsner? What am I expecting? I'm expecting this really. When you think of American Pilsner, you think of Miller. American beer, light American beer. Budweiser, Miller, that sort of thing. Light, crispy and refreshing, not massive amounts of flavours. Yeah, that's American Pilsner right there. Very small, one finger, white head, good levels of carbonation. Straw coloured beer. Yeah, kind of really clean aroma on the beer. There was more of a hop presence and a malt presence on the previous two beers, on the Hawkstone and the Liberty Lager. But that's not bad brewing. That's just a style. That's just, I mean, people will if you're not a massive fan of the big hoppy bitter pilsners, then this might be up your street. There's a beer for everybody out there. Not much going on at all in that aroma. Nice though. Nice. It tastes better than the aroma. The taste is much better than the aroma. Nicely carbonated. Incredible drinkability. Like clinical drinkability. Really cutthroat, refreshing beer with a fantastic bitterness on the back end. Nice beer that. Nice lager that from New Barns. Really good. Okay, let's have a. Should we just start? I tell you what, we've done American pills. Let's do Italian pills. I believe these are another Scottish brewery. They're from Leith as well, in Edinburgh. Perhaps one of these two breweries are contracting. Maybe they're sharing the same space. It's a bit of a coincidence that both breweries, both good lager breweries, have started in Leith. Maybe this is a case of New Barns are borrowing Don Zoco's brewing kit. Maybe. Or maybe the other way round. Maybe Don Zoco are using New Barns brewing kit. But these have got a fantastic company, fantastic reputation, Don Zoco. They really have. 500 milliliter can. Foamy beers for good times. Yeah, look at that. Bang on. Bit of foam on the top. Italian Pilsner. Shall we go with that Italian style, that Italian French style? Nice tall glass. Never be afraid to stop the pour. If you started the pour wrong, like there was a lot of beer in that can then, I started to pour, I had to be a bit aggressive, it was creating a big head on the beer. I can't describe it, but you know when it kind of like the liquid catches wrong on the top of the can, it kind of started to roll. It just poured wrong. Just stop the pour, start again. See how much more controlled that is? If I carried on pouring the way I started to pour, it would have been a right old mess. But I'm enjoying this. Let me have a look very, very quickly while this head is sorting itself out. I want to give you an idea of the price of some of these beers. Billing. Do we have a... It was... So if I spent over £50 with this lovely company, the Fuss Club, it was free delivery. So I think the bill was about £56. That was 8 lagers and 2 IPAs. About £56. What are we talking? £5. I mean, if you averaged everything out, it's about £5.60 a can. The IPAs might be a little bit more expensive than the lagers, but you're generally, for good craft beer, for good lagers, for good IPA, for good stouts, you're generally paying about £5 or £6 a can. So it's bang on. It's bang on in terms of price there. So Italian Pilsner, 3-finger, white head, good levels of carbonation, straw-coloured beer. What I love about this, you've got a Scottish brewery there from Leith, brewing American Pilsner. You've got another Scottish brewery having a go at brewing Italian Pils. We're in a great place at the moment with beer, aren't we? Where if you're willing to dosh out, if you're willing to pay the money and have a really decent beer, then you can get it now. Everything's brewed in the UK now. Lager, stout, porter, IPA, real ales. We're so lucky to be in the position we're in terms of great quality beers from around, beer styles from around the world. Beautiful. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit of hoppiness. Fantastic. Oh, that is just... That's the standout beer for me so far. Absolute standout beer. Stone the Crows. 5.5% ABV. I had to double check at the ABV because I just got into that realm of fantastic mouthfeel. A little bit more body come through then on the beer, and I like a bit of body on a lager. I think it's the reason why I drink so many kind of Oktoberfest style beers these days, and you know, whenever it comes out, and good solid German lagers, is because when you get over that precipice of 5.5% ABV, you're really then going into, and especially if they're all malt lagers, that malt just gives a level of brilliance, if you like, that kind of, it's a reassuring mouthfeel. A little bit of creaminess in there, a little bit more body, sweetness from the malt, bitterness from the hops. It all starts to gel. I think for me, my favourite lagers are between 5.5% ABV and maybe like 6.3. That kind of Oktoberfest style strong lager with good mouthfeel. That. Of course, not Oktoberfest. Of course, Italian Pils, but reassuringly. Isn't there an advert? Reassuringly good. Reassuringly something. Isn't there an advert? Look at the haze on the glass. Absolutely fantastic. I've just found now, I'll be honest with you guys, I spent out for this review and I was a little bit nervous to how it was going to go. But this is the beer where I've just gone, just relax, man. Just relax. Things are going good. I'm looking through the kitchen window. I can see that the video's still recording. You know, there's always jitters. Are we recording? Are things working? You know, you're making a £55, essentially a £55 video. You know, how are things going? Are we recording? I'm doing everything myself. I don't have any kind of, there's no production team behind me. I make sure the lights are on. I make sure my glass is as good as I can get them. We get hopefully the best beer we can. And this is the beer that's just made me go, just relax, man. Forget about the things that could go wrong. Do you get what I'm saying here? If things go wrong now, we'll just press stop, we'll press start again, and we'll go again. But hopefully they don't. That is fantastic, fantastic lager. And at the moment, the clear favourite for me. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. If you told me so far, you know, are you going to drink those 10 cans? Are you going to drink them? If you're just going to drink 3 or 4, this would be in that 3 or 4. Fantastic. Right. Let's go with this because I didn't give them the justice that they deserved. STF. Twisted. Simple Things Fermentation. Oh, that's the name of them. Simple Things Fermentation. Pills and Thrills. 4.8% ABV. Czech style Pilsner. Dry hop for a citrus twist. Keep it simple. Absolutely keep it simple. Right, these are another brewery from Glasgow. I'm going to ask you guys a question at this stage. Why is it that most of this beer so far is from Scotland? I've been to Scotland once. I went to Edinburgh. Beautiful place, Edinburgh. I really enjoyed it. But lager, this is so far mostly lager, mostly from Scotland. Simple Things Fermentation. Let's get it out. Let's go. Right, where are we? Should we go? Let's go Dartmoor. Let's use this Dartmoor. I mean, you could quite easily suggest that this is going to be One Finger Whitehead. Good levels of carbonation, hazy, straw-coloured lager aroma. Ooh, now then. Oof. Wow, I mean, lemony, peppery, spicy, beautiful beer. Beautiful beer. If you ever see me kind of like just checking over my right shoulder, your left shoulder, I'm just checking we're recording. I do apologise for the, I mean, it's nice to offer the human aspect to these reviews, isn't it? It's nice to offer the kind of slight anxiety, and because we're all human. We're all human. We all live in a pretty tough world, don't we? Where, you know, it's pretty cutthroat. These, you know, in any industry in the world is a bit cutthroat, and I'll never shy away from it. I'll never shy away from the fact that, you know, something like this has caused a bit of kind of anxiety and, you know, a little bit of kind of like pressure. But pressure's good in life. Sometimes in life, pressure's good. Yeah, it's got that kind of check. Wonderfulness going on there. Whoa. Hoppy, lemony, peppery, spicy, but a kind of earthiness there from the malt and the yeast as well. Let's dive in. Cheers. Oh. I call this like a spritzer. A spritzer. Some beers, you have a mouthful of the beer and it kind of explodes on your palate. You get that kind of high levels of carbonation coming through. It's like a fire extinguisher going off in your mouth. And that's what's going on with every taste of this beer. It's definitely, there's a little bit of New World hops going on in here. It's prickly, it's peppery, it's spicy, it's bitter, it's drinkable, it's refreshing, it's lovely. This is lovely beer. .8% ABV. I'm gonna, like, this year has been a wonderful year for me on the channel in terms of, I went out, I did that Manchester video. Some of you might have seen that Manchester video. When I seen this can on the Fuss Club, it immediately went in my box. I was like, yep, we're having one of those. Bang. Cloudwater. I went to Cloudwater in June of this year. I went with my good friend Hopsine. Has a YouTube channel. Make sure to check it out. And we had such a good time there. We really did. We went just to drink beer. But Paul, the owner, was so accommodating. He was so accommodating. I'm going to use the glass. I'm going to use a Cloudwater glass for this, but and carry on. So 5.5% ABV. A lovely, accommodating man who completely understood the beer world from top down. I think we're into our third beer review at Cloudwater, and he came over and he said, we're doing a bit of a hop rubbing for our, like, we're choosing a new couple of beers that we're kind of brewing for probably the autumn series, autumn beers, and we're doing some hop rubbing, and we think this hop's good and we think this hop's better, but we want your opinion. And that was lovely. That was really lovely. And so hop rubbing is, so there were pellets, so we were kind of breaking the pellets down in our hands, rubbing them on the inside of our hand, and we were kind of getting the aroma of these hops, and we were having to, like, go on, this one's as good as this one's slightly better. I think we had 5 hops a go, and we weren't far away. So we were told, because they were on a separate table around the corner, we were told, when you make the decision on these hops, take them around the corner. And nigh on, we weren't like a million miles away from what these guys are doing on a daily basis. We were like very close to kind of course, myself and Rob, we've been doing this for like 14 and 13 years, but you know, each and if we don't know hops now, we'll never know hops. That sort of thing. So we were not a million miles away from what the brewers were actually picking for the hops to go into their next beer, which was it was a great day at Cloudwater. Anyway, this is their export. Let me give this beer a bit of a shining light. Export lager, traditional lager, classic flavour, modern precision, 5.5% ABV. Big fan, lovely people. Good head retention. Of course, Cloudwater, nice and cloudy. Small amounts of carbonation, a well-behaved beer. The aroma, oh yeah, fantastic. Malt, hops, but simple, but really simple and well built. Cheers. I'm going to go down a different route with this beer and say the first thing I noticed about the beer was the water quality. Now, Manchester is a big industrial area. It's a big industrial place in Lancashire. Big industrial city. The fact that You know, everybody's pulling on the water in a big city, aren't they? Everybody's turning their taps on. The millions of people that live in Manchester, they're all turning their taps on, they're all boiling kettles, they're all running baths, they're all having showers. There's a strain on the water system, isn't there? And in the big cities, the water quality would of course not be as great as if it was in, say, a village in northern Scotland, a little fishing village, or kind of mid Wales where there's mountains everywhere and you can literally drink the mountain water. It's an industrial city with an industrial past. The fact that the water is so soft in this beer is a massive credit to Cloudwater. They've completely understood the importance of water and treating the water in their beers. Not the most kind of like trendy or kind of funky thing to say in a beer review is to talk about the water, but it's so important. It really is. If you know beer, if you understand beer, then you start with the water. You start with the water and you build your beer around the water. And Cloudwater have done that massively well here. Oh, beautiful citrus vibes coming through. Good mouthfeel, good carbonation, just a solid beer. This is up there with a Don Zoco. And of course I've got that fantastic kind of introduction and that fantastic, like, Cloudwater are brilliant. I paid my own good money for this, as you know, and I'm entitled to say, and I'm entitled to speak the truth because I bought the beer myself. This is not me going, I went to Cloudwater, they were great people, I'm always going to talk great things about their beer. This is me saying, no, yes, I had a great time in the summer, but I bought this with my own money, and I'm damn glad that I bought it. One, two, three, four, five. We're six in. Whew, we're six in. Right. Oh man, what have I bought you? Right. Oh, what have I bought you? I bought a low alcohol American Pilsner, 0.5% ABV. Even the man sitting on the RSJ is slightly depressed. He's like, oh no, what have I bought? I'm sitting on this RSJ swinging around at the top of the Eiffel Tower in America. and oh no, what have I done? I bought this 0.5% ABV. Oh, that was me not looking. Right, okay, I'm going to be quick with this one. It might be brilliant. Oh. It might be brilliant or it might not. Well, this might be like the shocker in the box. Now you've seen that. I didn't shake it. There was no artistic flair from me there. Oh man alive, this is a mess. Right, Mash Gang, where are they from? City Road, London. That's a shame. I'm going to have to stand slightly sideways out with a puddle of beer on the floor. 2-finger Whitehead, good levels of carbonation, hazy looking, 0.5% ABV beer. I'm gonna give this the there's people out there that want to drink low alcohol beer now. I don't understand it. I never will. If I'm going to drink 0% beer, then I'm going to drink coffee or tea or orange squash or juice. I'm not gonna go, yeah, I'm gonna go out and buy 4 cans of 0% beer. It's just not. I don't understand it. I never will. Your malty mash. What I find from 0% beers is they kind of pull on the strings of what beer is supposed to be. So you're getting a lot of malt aroma. You're getting a lot of biscuit malt here. A lot of kind of like. Oh, it's so uninspiring. I do apologise. Let's get into it. It's hoppy. It's hoppy, it's malty, and it's watery, and it's thin, and I've made a mistake in buying this. I'll never be on board with 0% beer. I just find it completely ridiculous. But I kind of like hope that, I'm pretty sure that Mash Gang probably make great beers, and they probably make great normal beers. So that was Styrian, Wolf, Galaxy, Nelson Sauvin and Oak Chips. Why the effort? Why so much effort for a 0.5% ABV beer? I'm sorry, I just can't. I just struggle with that. I really struggle with. So I'm going to get that out of the way and rate it straight away. I've got to rate it really as a 0% beer, haven't I? I've got to say, you know, if you're a lover of 0% beers, then you might like this. It's hoppy, it's malty, it's crispy, it's refreshing, it's doing everything that a beer is, but without the alcohol. So I'm going to say 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. But on another note, the chance of me buying that again, 0%. 0%. I will never. I always. Why does this stuff exist? Anyway, I can quite happily say I'm going to move that out of the way, and I never want to see it again. But for a non-alcoholic beer, 7 out of 10. Right. Let's try Beaks and Wildflowers Floor. They're heritage pills at 4.8% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. I like to game with a beer. I like to do a bit of gaming with a beer, and I can't imagine. Oh, you know, I'm gonna go. I don't want to. You know, I'm gonna buy this non-alcoholic beer. I know it's got me now. It's got me kind of ranting a bit. We're living in a strange society. We're living in a weird world. It's just like, it's not black and white anymore, is it? I'm going to shut up now because I'll end up being accused of all sorts of things. So I'm just going to shut my mouth and get on with this Beak beer. 3 finger, white head, good levels of carbonation, good head retention, slightly hazy, straw coloured beer. So I understand that they've used a heritage malt in this particular beer. They're heritage pills at 4.8% ABV. So Floor must be a heritage kind of malt. Aroma. Can you hear the rain? It's raining all day. It's raining all day. Fun all day. Hoppy, spicy, peppery, a little bit lemony. Here we go. New World, the most New World beer that we've had. That is like, oh, crisp, clean, refreshing, a little bit of sweetness, lots of kind of like fruit flavour in the middle, like kiwi fruits and lemons and oranges, and then a nice kind of peppery, spicy bitterness on the back end. I like that. And I'm going to guess that they've used a heritage malt in this beer, heritage lager malt, and they've kind of spiced things up with a New World hop. This lager is one of a trio of beers released as part of the Downside Up series, which celebrates some of the best breweries and hop farms in Australia and New Zealand. Made in collaboration with Wildflower Brewing and Blending New South Wales, it is created using heritage malt and organic Motueka whole leaf hops. Crisp, floral, foamy, in all the right places with wispy ethanol notes of hay, mint and heather honey. Right, okay, so that's quite a good idea actually. Upside down farmer with malt in his mouth. So they've used heritage malts and they've used New World hops. That's this whole upside down thing going on here. Very, very clever. Very, very clever. I like that from Beak. I suppose though, in terms of being completely honest with you, like the Don Zoco Italian Pils and like the export lager from Cloudwater, you're not seeing me jumping round for joy, are you? You're not seeing, pardon me, you're not seeing me like, this is incredible, this is amazing. And I think I really like IPA. I really like IPA. But for me, this is like IPA creeping into the lager world. I like hoppy lagers. I do like a hoppy lager. But I'll be perfectly honest with you, with this particular beer, I thought I was buying a beer with heritage malts, and I thought it was going to be like a traditional, great solid pilsner. To be honest, a great solid lager, and although I understand it, and I think it's a very, very clever thing to do, to use New World hops with heritage malt, I'm not jumping for joy. I'm not like this is the next greatest thing in the world. Does that make sense to you? So we might as well carry on then with this theme of New Zealand. So this is a New Zealand Pilsner. This is from Daya. Daya, again, one of the most fantastic little bit of spillage there. So we're going to pour, we're going to stop, and then we're going to pour again. These beers that spring to life out of the can, they just do this to you. They want to do that to you. Daya, great brewery, Gloucester, UK, Gloucestershire, UK, Cheltenham, actually, yeah, Cheltenham. 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 finger whitehead, good levels of carbonation. hazy straw coloured beer. Aroma, it's going to be difficult with the aroma here. Again, New World, hoppy, but they've told me. I seen this on the website, I bought it with the notion that it was hoppy. There's no like heritage malt, like confusion if you like here. I knew what I was buying with this beer. So I don't mind the fact that it's a hoppy Pilsner. And I hope that makes sense. The Beak beer was a little bit... The Beak beer was a little bit... The information wasn't there. I thought I was buying a heritage lager. A traditional heritage malt lager. Whereas this, I know New Zealand Pils... Yeah, it's going to be New World. It's going to be New World. Lemony, spicy, peppery, grapefruit, Nelson, Sauvin. Crisp, refreshing, fantastic actually. Absolutely fantastic. Crisp, bold, hoppy, drinkable, refreshing. 4.4% ABV. Beautiful beer. Really like it. It's not as hoppy. It's not as hoppy as the Beak. It's more scaled back. It's more kind of like, this is lager first and then a bit of hop on the back end, which I like. This is great from Daya. Okay, so last but not least, another beer from New Barns. We started with the New Barns American Pilsner after the Hawkstone and the Liberty Lager. New Barns Pilsner beer. 4.2% ABV. You can see now this had time to warm up a little bit. You can see that condensation. They've got it nailed, haven't they? For whatever reason, look at that. That was a rigorous pour. That was a really rigorous pour. For whatever reason, this Scottish brewery from Leith in Edinburgh, they've got this nailed, haven't they? They've got this kind of, you can go rigorous with the pour. You can kind of like do what you want if you like. It's a great 1 to 2 finger white head. Good levels of carbonation. Straw coloured beer. Aroma. It's going to be a kind of like a bog standard Pilsner, I imagine. Yes, but that's lovely. Lots of malt. Lots of crisp Pilsner malt. A little bit peppery, a little bit spicy. Smells good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everyone. Beautiful. This is what I want from a Pilsner. It's crisp, it's refreshing, it's malty. That Pilsner malt is coming through fantastically well. It's not overcomplicated with New Zealand hops or kind of like a New World lager. It's not overcomplicated. I think this company are onto something. The Donzoko, the New Barns, I'm pretty sure that it's probably a bit of contract brewing going on there. Probably at Donzoko. But I firmly believe, after trying the beers from Donzoko and New Barns, that they've set up production as first and foremost a lager brewery. You can tell. They probably have horizontal fermentation vessels. They've started from the ground up as, hey, we are going to be great lager breweries. And I really like that. The others are certainly the kind of like, as soon as I got into the hoppy stuff, it was like drinking some kind of like weird IPA, if you like. In that it's trying to be a Pilsner, it's trying to be a lager, it's trying to be an IPA, it's trying to be a pale ale, it's trying to be hoppy, and it's all just a bit too like overcomplicated for me. So let's get rating. I'm going to take one quick sip of each one. I'm going to smash out the ratings on this because you've been here a long time. I've been here a long time. Liberty Lager, Evan Evans, gluten-free. For a gluten-free lager, it's going to do the job. Slightly sweet. Bit too sweet for my palate, if I'm honest. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 for the Liberty Lager. Jeremy Clarkson's Hawkstone Lager. This would be interesting after drinking the rest of the beers. Does the job. Crisp, refreshing, malty, biscuity. Actually, I like it. Actually, it's holding up to some of these beers here that I was just banging on about, the New Barns and the Don Zoco. It's a good, clean, crisp lager that I like. I think he's done an excellent job with the Hawkstone Lager. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for Hawkstone. New Barns American Pilsner. And he's lashing down. It does what it says on the tin. It's a clean, crisp, refreshing Pilsner, but it very much reflects, after drinking Hawkstone Lager and the American Pilsner, it's very much the same beer. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Don Zoco. Donatello's Italian Pils. This, I thought at the time, was great. That is the Ferrari. That is the Ferrari of these beers. That is just right up my street. Great mouthfeel, great drinkability. Close your eyes when you're drinking it. Beautiful, beautiful bitterness on them. That is a 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. That is fantastic beer. Simple Things fermentation. The Pilsner. Very good. A little bit harsh on the carbonation. A little bit of kind of like a sour funkiness on the back end. 7 out of 10. Cloudwater Export Lager.
Oh.
it's nailed on quality beer. It really is. It's just, I haven't got time to talk about the export style of beer, but it was the Dortmunder style of beer before Pilsner came out. Google it. It's a fascinating story. Everybody were export brewers back in the day in Germany. Pilsner breweries kind of snuck up on them and took their market share without the export brewers noticing. Yeah, long story short, this happened about 150 years ago, 100 years ago, with the rise of the Pilsner breweries. It's a fascinating story. Google export versus Pilsner and you'll see the whole story from Germany. This export lager is fascinating, it's fantastic, it's solid, it's brilliant, I love it. It also gets a 10 out of 10. It's a brilliant beer. New Barnes Pilsner, let's go. A great tasting solid Pilsner that is back to basics beer with malt and hops and bitterness, but brewed very, very well. Brewed very, very well. Back to basics Pilsner. Great stuff. 9 out of 10. I gave we did, I'm not going to mention them again. Mash Gangs, the Stoop. I'm not going to, I think I'll give that a 7. Daya, New Zealand Pilsner, if you remember rightly, it wasn't pouring very well, and it's still kind of, look at that, it wants to create beers like this. I find slightly irritating because you can never, you want a beer and you're waiting for the damn thing to settle down. Day New Zealand Pils, it's good. I've got to rate it as a New Zealand Pils now, haven't I? I've got to forget about all of this hoppy stuff and just say, hey, yeah, this is what they went with. This is what they went for. Citrusy, zesty, spicy, peppery, drinkable beer that was slightly difficult to pour. In terms of New Zealand Pils, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. If it poured better, I probably would have given it a 9. Last but not least, Beak Wildflower. Heritage Pils, 4.8% ABV. I found it slightly confusing. Ingenious idea of using heritage malt and New World hops. Ingenious. Even the farmer's head is turned upside down. But I think they missed the trick. If they brewed a heritage Pilsner, a heritage malt Pilsner, without the New World hops, I think the understanding would have come through a little bit better. You're brewing a heritage Pilsner. This is New World. This is hoppy. It's a beautiful beer, don't get me wrong. Zesty and peppery and spicy and lemony and grapefruity. But I think the message here is that I bought the beer thinking it was going to be something different to what we have here. I didn't buy the New Zealand Pilsner thinking that it was going to be anything else but a New Zealand Pilsner. I bought that heritage lager with interest of heritage malt and, you know, what we're going to get, and we ended up with yes, heritage malt, but then a lot of New Zealand and New World hops coming through. So 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I hope you liked this marathon video. It was probably in terms of a single video, a single beer review video, It was probably our biggest investment yet into the channel. Tell me how you all think. Did you like it? Were you bored? Do you want it shorter? Do you want it longer? We give a fantastic, I think, description of all of these beers. We give an honest description of all of these beers. You won't find them in the supermarket. You'll find them at places like the Fuss Club, and of course Evan Evans' website for the Landilo beer, the Liberty Lager. Jeremy Clarkson's Hawkston Lager you'll find from Hawkston's website. But other than that, yeah, this is kind of it. This is it. This is the end of the video. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.